Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I'm now going to be reviewing all of Tuesday's action from the NHL. There were a grand total of 10 games on tap, so therefore 20 teams were hungry for 2 points. Starting with the teams you see on your screen as the Seattle Kraken went into Buffalo to visit the Sabres. Jeff Skinner will kick things off for the Buffalo Sabres, getting his 17th goal of the season, assisted by Middlestad and Tuck, 4 minutes and 57 seconds into that frame. With 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, Gord would tie the game up. Yanni Gord would tie the game up, getting his 7th goal of the year, assisted by Tolvanen and Bjorkstrad. A late power play for the Seattle Kraken. Binston would pot the puck in the back of the net, getting his 8th of the season, assisted by Burakovsky and Tolvanen. So it's 2-1 in favor of the Kraken heading into the second period. Just 50 seconds into that middle frame, Alex Tuck would tie the game up, getting his 11th goal of the season, assisted by Skinner and Middlestad. A minute and 18 seconds after that, Adam Wenberg would give the Kraken a 3-2 lead, getting his 6th goal of the season from Schwartz and Dumblin. 11 minutes. What? There's nothing wrong with it. Why?
You know this?
Yeah, it's just an older system. Yeah, it always does that. Where was I? Jaden Schwartz, 11 minutes and 34 seconds into that frame. Is that all you want to do is just come in and ask about the Xbox?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Jaden Schwartz would double up the lead to 4-2, getting his 9th goal of the season from Tanev and Borgen. With just under 4 minutes remaining in that period, Matt Benier would increase the lead to 5-2, getting his 6th goal of the season, assisted by Borgen at sorry, oh my, I'm all messed up now. That would make the 5-2 at that point in favor of Seattle. No goals were scored in the third, so 5-2 would be the final score from Buffalo. So with the victory, the Kraken have improved to 17, 14, and 9, and with the loss, the Buffalo Sabres are 17, 20, and 4. All right, let's take a look at our next matchup, which takes place, in LA. Nope, in Tampa Bay, where we have the Lightning, and they played host to the Los Angeles Kings. All right, so we should see the teams on the screen as we speak. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. There was no scoring in the first, so we had to jump all the way ahead to the second period. Well over halfway into that frame, 11 minutes and 31 seconds to be exact, or 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the frame, Philippe Deneau would kick things off, getting his 8th goal of the season from Spence and Trevor Moore. Matt Roy would add a late goal for the Kings. Well, technically not that late, 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the period. Getting his 2nd goal of the season from Fiala and Trevor Moore. Moore would have 2 assists in the game. In the third, Mott would cut the deficit to 2-1, getting the Lightning on the board with 7 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the period. And then with just 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining, Hagel would tie the game up, getting his 12th of the season. Assist by Perbix and Martison Lilla. Oh wow, I don't even know how to do his full last name. Sorry, I should say that when Mott scored, AC Mott assisted on his score, and yeah, when Hagel scored, Perbix and Martison Lilla ... His name cuts off. So it was all tied up at 2. In overtime, Perbix would get the game-winning goal just 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the frame. That would be his first goal of the season, assisted by Hagel. So they both had a goal and assist on both of their scores. So the Lightning stormed back and got 2 points out of this matchup. So with the victory, they've improved to 2017 and the Kings are 2010 and 7. I just gotta check the standings here in just a second. Lightning haven't lost in overtime? Are they? And 5. Okay, so the Lightning are 20, 17, and 5. All right. Just get some music going. No point just listening to me breathing. All right. The next matchup takes place in Toronto, where the Leafs and the Sharks took to the ice. So this is it feels kind of like a back and back because the Leafs just played in San Jose and now they're obviously hosting the Sharks. So there we go. Now it's better. All right, this was a one-sided affair, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be surprised about the outcome of this. In the first, Riley would kick things off with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, getting his 5th goal of the season from Nylander and Brody. Less than 40 seconds after that, Matthews would score, so technically there was 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining, getting his 31st of the season from Marner and Nylander, and that would be a power play goal. So it was 2-0 for the Leafs heading into the second. Just 54 seconds into that middle frame, Marner would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 16th of the season, assisted by McCabe and Liljegren. Holmberg would get his first goal of the season for the Leafs 2 minutes and 6 seconds into that frame, assisted by McMahon and Kampf. Thurn would get his first goal of the season for the San Jose Sharks, getting them on the board, assisted by Granlund and Duclair, and that would be a power play goal 7 minutes and 21 seconds into that frame. So after 40 minutes, it was 4-1 in favor of the Leafs. A minute and 27 seconds into that third period, McCabe would record his second goal of the year, assisted by Marner and Benoit. A minute and 27 seconds into that period, I think I may have just said that. Marner would then get his second goal of the game, his 17th of the season, a power play goal from Riley and Nylander. And then with yet another power play, 5 minutes and 54 seconds, Robertson would record his 6th goal of the year from Nyes and McCabe. So McCabe had 3 assists on the night, so that's not too bad for a defenseman. So 7-1 would be the final score in favor of the Leafs. So with the victory, Toronto is now improved to 21, 10, and 7. And with the loss, the Sharks are 9, 29, and 3. So like 20 games below 500. Not that good. All right. The next matchup takes place on Long Island, where we have the New York Islanders, and they played host to the Vancouver Canucks. So the one interesting thing about this matchup is you think it would have been like Beauvillier going up against Horvat, but because Beauvillier got dealt to the Blackhawks, it's just Bo Horvat playing against his former team. So I'm sure the Canucks had to have gotten something else out of that trade, but it just seems awful strange how both those guys got traded for each other last trade deadline, and now one of those guys isn't even on these respected teams. So in the first, Hronek would kick things off for the Canucks. It would be a late goal, 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining, getting his 3rd goal of the season from Mikheyev and Garland. Quinn Hughes would add a late goal with just a minute and 18 seconds to go, getting his 11th goal of the season, increasing the lead to 2-0 after 20 minutes. In the second period, Elias Pettersson would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 20th of the year from JT Miller and Hronek, 10 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact. Less than a minute after that, Nelson would finally get the Islanders on the board, getting his 18th of the year from Palmieri and Barzal, a power play goal to note, 11 minutes and 11 seconds to be exact. With 2 minutes and 36 seconds remaining, Tyler Myers would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 3rd of the season from Bluegar and Garland. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 4-1 in favor of the Canucks. Late in the third, 4 minutes and 45 seconds to be exact, Brock Nelson will get his 2nd goal of the game and his 19th of the season, cutting the deficit to 4-2. And then with just about a minute and a half to go, Joshua would pretty much ice the game, getting an empty netter, getting his 11th of the season. 5-2 would be the final score in favor of the Canucks. So with the victory, Vancouver has improved to 27, 11, and 3. And despite the loss, the Islanders, I still believe, are in the top 4 of that division, 18, 12, and 10. All right. The next matchup takes place in Smashville. We have the Predators, and they played host to the Anaheim Ducks. All right. Let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. So in the first, Ryan Strome would kick things off for the Ducks, getting his 4th goal of the season from Alex Killorn, 11 minutes and 12 seconds into that frame. Just about 3 minutes after that, Vitarno would get his 19th of the year from Lacombe and Killorn. That would make it 2-0. And then with a late power play, McTavish would get his 12th goal of the season from Terry and Mintyukov. It was 3-0 at that point in favor of the Ducks. That goal happened with 2 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the frame. In the second, Terry would increase the lead to 4-0, getting his 10th of the season from Henrique and Vakunainen. 3 minutes and 5 seconds into that frame. No goals were scored the rest of the period, so after 40 minutes of play, it was 4-0 in favor of the Ducks. In the third, Radko Gudas would increase the lead to 5-0, getting his 6th of the season from Lacombe, 3 minutes and 16 seconds into the frame, making it 5-0 at that point. Alex Carey would finally get the Nashville Predators on the board, getting his 2nd of the season, from assisted by Nyquist, a short-handed goal of all things, 9 minutes and 45 seconds into that frame. With just under 3 minutes to go, Tomasino would cut the deficit to 5-2, getting his 5th of the season, assisted by McCarron and Ryan Josi. With 45 seconds to go in the period, Guryanov, the big off-season signing for the Predators, well, one of them, would get his first goal of the year, assisted by McCarron and Parasainen. So it was just kind of one of those situations where it's too little too late for the Predators to bounce back in this matchup. So with the victory, the Anaheim Ducks are 14-25-1, still 11 games below 500. And despite the loss, the Predators are still 22-18-7. They're out of 4 games above 500, so it's not too terrible. All right, Florida went into St. Louis to take on the Blues. That's the next matchup. So I should have the team's logos on the screen as we speak. So this would be a bit of a one-sided affair. We'll take a look at the goal scoring summary from this game. So 3 minutes and 24 seconds into that opening period, Braden Shen would get his 9th of the season from Neighbors and Brandon Saad. With just about 4 minutes remaining in the period, 4 minutes and 4 seconds to be exact, Stenlund would tie the game up, getting his 8th of the season, assisted by Gadjevich and Lockwood. In the second, Sam Reinhart, who's been red hot, would get his 29th of the season, a power play goal, a minute and 11 seconds into that middle frame, assisted by Kachuk and Barkov. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 2-1. In the third, Matthew Kachuk would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 9th of the season from Berhegi, 2 minutes and 18 seconds into that frame. Kachuk would then get his 2nd goal of the game, recording his 10th of the season from Forsling and Lundell, 5 minutes and 57 seconds into that period. And then with just under a minute to go, he would complete the natural hat trick, getting his 11th of the season, assisted by Kulikov. So he would record the last 3 goals of the game for the Florida Panthers. So 5-1 would be the final score in this matchup. So with the victory, the Panthers are 26-12-2. And with the loss, the Blues are 20-18-7. All right. The next matchup takes place in Winnipeg, and they played host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Perfect. So let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. So in the first, just 3 minutes and 12 seconds into that opening frame, Brandon Dillon would get his 6th goal of the season from Ehlers and Scheifele. In the second, Perfetti would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 13th of the year from Sandberg and Schmidt. Late in that frame, just under 6 minutes to go, Morrissey would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 7th of the season from Adam Lowry. In the third, Perfetti would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 14th of the season, 3 minutes and 34 seconds into that frame. And then with a power play goal roughly halfway into that period, Velarde would get his 9th goal of the year, assisted by Lowry and Perfetti. So Perfetti had a pretty decent game, 2 goals and an assist in this outcome. So a 5-0 shutout for the Winnipeg Jets, who are absolutely red hot. They are still atop of that Central Division. So they're clearly doing something right, and it's looking like that trade with the Los Angeles Kings is really paying off, to say the least. So with the victory, Winnipeg's improved to 27-9-4, and with the loss, the Blue Jackets are 13-20-9. All right, 2 more games to cover from this particular night. The next matchup takes place in, actually, might be 3 more games to go. Arizona Coyotes, and they played host to the Boston Bruins. Okay. Let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. So in the first, Pasternak will get a power play goal. Big surprise, his 25th of the year from Zaka and Geeky, 4 minutes and 41 seconds into that frame. In the second, Keller would tie the game up with a power play goal of his own, his 14th of the season, assisted by Genther. Boqvist would get his first goal of the season for the Boston Bruins, 9 minutes and 2 seconds into that frame. No assist on that goal. Genther would then record his second goal of the season, assisted by Cooley and Bustad, and that goal happened with 3.5 minutes to go in the frame. So it's all tied up at 2 heading into the third. Machelli would give the Arizona Coyotes a 3-2 lead, getting his 7th goal of the season from Logan Krause. And then with a power play, 5 minutes and 4 seconds into that final period, DeBrusk would tie the game up, getting his 9th goal of the season from Lindholm and Geeky. The game would need extra time, and it would take almost the entire overtime period. With just 56 seconds remaining, Schmaltz would get the game-winning goal, getting his 13th of the season from Keller and Moser. So 4-3 would be the final score from Arizona. So with the victory, the Coyotes have improved to 20-17-2. And despite the loss, I always say this with like every Bruins game, they're still the top of that Atlantic Division, 24-8-8. All right. Next matchup takes place in Chicago. We have the Blackhawks, and they are playing host to the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this particular game. So in the first, Dickinson would kick things off for the Blackhawks, 5 minutes and 52 seconds into that opening frame. No assists were on his score. 8 minutes and 5 seconds into that first period, Draisaitl would record his 19th goal of the season from McLeod and Nurse. So it was all tied up on after 1 period of play. In the second, Connor McDavid would give the Edmonton Oilers a 2-1 lead, getting his 15th goal of the season from Ekholm and Foegele, 1 minute and 32 seconds into the middle frame. And it's hard to believe that there was no scoring for the entire rest of the game. So 2-1 would be the final score from this one. So with the victory, the Oilers have improved to 21-15-1. And with the loss, the Blackhawks are now 12-27-2. All right, and the last matchup of the night is an all-Canadian matchup between the Ottawa Senators and the Calgary Flames. So let's take a look at the goal scoring summary from this particular game. In the first, Bernard Decker would open up the scoring for the Senators, getting his 4th of the season from Tarasenko and Gregg, 4 minutes and 9 seconds into that frame. Zari would tie the game up less than 40 seconds after that, getting his 9th of the season. Kubalik would get a very, very late goal for the Senators, just 3 seconds remaining in the period, his 9th of the year from Gregg and Churkin. So it's 2-1 in favor of Ottawa heading into the second period. Sharon Govich would tie the game up in the second, getting his 13th of the season from Huberdeau and Lindholm, 3 minutes and 50 seconds into that frame. And with a power play, 12 minutes and 39 seconds into the game, or in the second period, I should say, or 7 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the period, Brady Tkachuk would give the Senators a 3-2 lead, getting his 17th of the year from Giroux and Batherson. So after 40 minutes of play, the Senators had a lead going into the third period. Just 47 seconds into that third, Noah Hannafin would tie the game up, getting his 7th of the season from Possible and Zari. Blake Coleman would give the Calgary Flames their first lead of the night, getting his 16th of the year from Hannafin and Kadri, 8 minutes and 57 seconds in that frame. Sharon Govich would get his second goal of the game, his 14th of the season from Hannafin and Kadri, increasing the lead to 5-3 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the frame. And then just under 3 minutes to go, Blake Coleman would record his second goal of the game, his 17th of the season from Backlund, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the frame. So the Calgary Flames stormed all the way back, getting 4 goals in the third to take this contest. So with the victory, the Flames are 18-18-5, and with the loss, the Senators are now 8 games below 500, 14-22. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. And as always, take care.